I haven't slept so far, but I can't say about tomorrow because tomorrow is Friday and we have a team dinner going on in the evening. So they have already made arrangements and all that, and I'll have to be very selective with what I eat. It's this week I've experimented with a few types of new ingredients in my alkalizer. When I put in basil, I totally didn't like the taste of it, basil leaves. But I endured, yeah, because I made such a huge batch. I had to endure with it for 2 days. I tried to put in some Tabasco Worcestershire sauce to make it more palatable, but I survived it. I know I'm not going to put basil leaves in there ever again. But time now, I changed. I took basil leaves out and put what's that, mint. Then it's much better. I'm alright with the taste and I like it. So thank God. At first when I thought that coconut water cannot be used and no more apples, I thought I was going to suffer quite a lot with the alkalizer, but I think I found a good combination right now and I'm happy with it. I think I can survive for another few more weeks with my new alkalizer recipe. I noticed some weight loss.
Awesome. Really?
But I think my size haven't really come down drastically. It's just like a 0.5 inches difference from the first time I took the measurements. But the weight, I think, decreased at least 2.5 kg from the first measurement. So this week I saw it. I've been weighing myself every day. Actually, I'm quite obsessed because of all the pain that I'm going through. I want to make sure I'm motivated by some kind of, tiny bit of weight loss, and I'm happy to see it. So so far it's been good. I'm
just
glad that
getting into the weight loss.
Sorry?
So just wait. We're just now getting into the weight loss phase. So you should see some changes take place now.
Yeah. I'm very excited with the changes that is happening right now, I must say.
What else were you going to say? I'm sorry. I think I cut you off.
I'm excited with the changes that I'm seeing right now.
Awesome.
So yesterday, I tried to put on a dress that I've not been wearing for at least 1 year because I want to see whether I can fit in. Well, it was a tight fit, but at least I could fit in after so long. I think that's just to motivate myself. So I'll be taking out more older dresses to see whether I can go into them for the next few weeks.
Okay. Yeah. So I had it was probably almost 8 years, accumulated different size suits that I wore for work. So there was like the small, medium, large, extra type of scenario going here. And after the first challenge, I was like excited because I could decrease the size of suit, and then the next one I increased another size in my suits, and by the end I was back to the suit that I got promoted in, and was actually, I was like, look at this still fits, this is great. So it's exciting times as we make the transition. It's going to be different for everybody. So have you noticed any, symptoms that have come up? Have you felt low blood sugar, or you felt like any upset stomach or muscle cramps or anything that's changed since we flipped the switch here and gone into fat burning mode?
Yeah, I did observe a little lightheadedness because I'm always having low blood pressure. As opposed to everyone else in my house, I have a low blood pressure condition. So I think just a few times early in the week, like Monday, I noticed a bit of a lightheadedness, but it wasn't severe. was okay, it was bearable, but then it tapers down and it wears off by itself. So I felt it wasn't a problem. I added salt into my diet, especially because I was afraid that, you know, those kind of symptoms would occur. It hasn't occurred since Tuesday, so I think it's all right. Other than that, I noticed a bit of rashes on my skin, but I'm not sure whether that's part of the detox that's coming up, because I used to have on and off flares of eczema or skin irritations of some sort, where my skin itches and flares up for months. I used to have those kind of problems. Now it's coming back a little bit, but it's still manageable. It hasn't gone full blown flat up yet. So I don't know whether that's part of the keto thing that's
rashes.
going on.
Yeah, rashes at this point are sometimes I see quite a few of them actually, where you know the body starts to burn certain, you know, fat tissue that is storing up different toxins or poisons or chemicals in there, and one of the reactions that our body has is a rash. So not uncommon at all for rashes to come up, and I'm glad you added in some more salt. You know, with the, if you were feeling a little lightheaded, make sure you stay hydrated and get additional salt. Keep drinking your Alkagizer, potassium there as well. The this next phase, you know, as we go through into fat metabolism, it's important to obviously be adherent and make sure that you don't have any sugar sneaking in. But there's a couple different hormones that we're trying to get in a line here. So obviously removing all the sugar decreases our insulin production, so we don't have any insulin. Insulin is it goes against ketosis and kicks us out of a ketosis. Also, looking at stress. So anything that we can do to help relieve stress, if it's additional meditation or breathing or things along those lines, because cortisol is one of the stress hormones. It also will kick us out. And then estrogen is the other hormone that kind of negates ketosis in fat burning mode. And just having a bunch of lean green, cruciferous vegetables and adding in all these lean green vegetables, leafy green vegetables, it helps to absorb extra estrogen that's floating around the body so that you can eliminate it. So we're trying to get our hormones back in check, and sometimes, people have grown some insulin resistance and they're used to producing insulin all the time. There may be some residual insulin being produced because the signal to shut off is not as clear as it normally would be, and it just takes our body a little while to adjust. Have you noticed any changes with your sleep or your energy, or any with your thoughts and clarity?
Yeah, I noticed that I can go without food for quite a few hours now, because last time I very very stubborn on having 3 meals per day. But now, in the mornings, if I just have my Alkagizer, I can last until 2 p.m. without lunch, and I don't even feel any sort of hunger. And I'm just amazed. And I think there's no lethargicness or tiredness or whatsoever. I'm very alert right now at 8 a.m. driving to work. I'm usually kind of groggy, but I think energy levels wise, I see improvements, although I'm having lesser food. So it's just amazing. I'm enjoying this actually. Other than that, I think I haven't noticed anything different about sleep. I don't know whether I've been sleeping well, but I felt it's there's not much changes in terms of sleep. I have no problems with sleep. I when I go to sleep, I don't usually wake up many times in the night, but I think because lately I've been drinking quite a lot of water as to be hydrated. So evening times when I drink water, I tend to drink more than usual. That's why I wake up in the night at least once. Usually previously I don't have that kind of habit, so I can sleep through. But I think now that we try to get more hydrated, I'm not sure whether I should stop drinking so much water in the evenings so that I don't need to wake up at night, or I don't know. But that's that's fine by me.
Yeah.
Even though I wake up at night once, I'm okay.
Yeah, the thing is, as we start to burn more fat, we'll release different toxins into our blood. And one of the things I want you to be good at is flushing those out of your system so that you eliminate them and not, store them elsewhere. So getting plenty of water is still important. So you don't have to drink right up till bedtime, but yeah, if you want to cut it off a little bit earlier, that's fine. So you're not up all night going to the bathroom, but stay hydrated. You actually, want to eliminate those extra wastes. So you're getting all of your salt. You feel like you have enough variety in your diet? You're changing things up. I know you changed up your alkalizer.
Mm-hmm. Variety. I haven't added a lot of variety into my vegetables. Maybe I should try that. I'm not sure whether that's recommended. Is it recommended that I try more vegetables?
For sure. We would have had 200 different species of plants throughout the year. So your taste buds have definitely changed. So if there's vegetables that you didn't like in the past, now would be a good time to bring them back and try them again. And then if there's vegetables that you have never tried before, adding those in and checking them out and seeing how you enjoy those.
Okay, I'll be mindful of that. As for tomorrow's team dinner, actually I'm a bit anxious. I'm not sure whether I'll be doing well. Because after that, they'll be having drinking sessions with beers and alcohol. And I'm a bit, I don't know whether I'll be pressured to drink along with them or that kind of thing. So, so I'm not sure how I would react in that kind of situation or respond to what they are going to say. So.
I just came back from a business meeting, and
You got any
we
tips?
went out to dinner, and there was a reception. I basically tell them that I'm going through this program, trying a different lifestyle. I'm not drinking alcohol right now, and I had like bottled water, like Pellegrino or something like that was still. I was still drinking along with them. Sometimes it's, carbonated water is not the best, but, if you have seltzer water or carbonated water, kind of looks like a mixed drink. You just don't know what's in it, right? So that's what I've done. And it actually is kind of interesting. Depends how long the evening goes, where, how much alcohol gets consumed as to how the other people are as far as their cognitive ability from a alcohol standpoint. But it gets amusing at some points, watching everything transition. The best thing is just stick to your guns. You're just getting started in the weight loss phase. It will be a good test to see, but just also remember that alcohol is a poison, and it like totally shuts down all of your metabolism. So fat metabolism, sugar metabolism, everything just shuts it off because it's trying to eliminate the poison, and it sees the alcohol as a sugar. So it really tricks the liver. It thinks that it's getting some good sugar that it can actually use, and then it realizes, so it absorbs it, and then it realizes that it's poison. That I was like, this is not real sugar. I can't use this, and then it has to eliminate it. So it also obviously causes problems with our brain and our reflexes and things along those lines. So it causes a whole cycle from a dehydration standpoint too, because we're trying to get all that poison out of our system.
No benefits at all, huh?
So remind yourself, there's no benefits. I mean, some people will say, I want alcohol just to relax or, to enjoy the evening. Well, there's probably better things to take your mind off things and to relax than consuming a bunch of poison. But it's creating new habits. I know it's definitely the social norm, and everyone usually enjoys going out and socializing with drinks. So stick with it. Let us know how it goes.
Okay, sure. What's the enhancement for next week? Will it be reviewed today? The enhancements?
I was wondering if somebody might ask about it. So
I'm the only person.
Yeah, you're the only one here. I was like, well, should I say anything or should I not? But you can probably imagine that the enhancements for this week are to continue in WildFit Spring, because it takes people some time to get into ketosis. So we're going to continue. We're not taking anything out. So, continue with your breathing exercises, your water. Make sure that you're getting plenty of Alka-Geyser, and quantity of your vegetables, and also your meat. I lost you there for a second.
Sorry, I didn't get you. Yeah, I lost you there too.
So increase the quantity, quality, and variety of your vegetables, and increase the quantity, quality, and variety of your meat.
Increase vegetables, and I didn't get your last sentence.
Increase the quality and variety of the meat that you consume.
Oh, meat even.
Yeah. So I know some people are vegan or vegetarian. If you do, consider the sources where the meat's coming from and trying to increase the quality of the meat that we have. Wild game is the best, because that's what we want an animal that had its natural diet and raised farm-fed different animal or different food. And then if you find wild game, you would ask about organic meat where they've actually been fed their proper diet. So like a cow is supposed to have grass, and a chicken should be free range, able to eat anything off of the range. So that type of thing, like wild caught fish, not farm raised fish, but anything we can, just because remember, every time we eat meat, all of the food that they ate got concentrated in their tissue. So we're eating what they ate, basically. And we want to had a good, healthy diet as well.
See. Okay.
We talked about getting a good variety and getting enough variety. As people switch to fat burning mode, some people do get a little tired, where you might get like a slump where low blood sugar feeling almost. You said you felt a little lightheadedness. It may go low before your body finally kicks in and says, okay, I guess we're going to have to burn fat now. or release our fat stores, because it's built into our software that, you know, we don't want to use the fat. It's a survival technique. You know, we wanted to make sure that we were always prepared and had plenty, was coming or something unexpected. So it's getting the hormones in line to trigger it, but it's your body's still going to wait till the last resort before it actually makes the switch. So getting in some additional intentional movement, you know, just doing some extra walking, you know, parking further away from the, you know, the building, or taking the stairs or the escalator or something instead of the elevator. So just getting in some additional steps is, we want to increase the energy demand, and when we do that, the body, it signals to the body, okay, it's time to flip the switch, because we need more energy here. We're going to have to burn some of the fat.
Yeah. I think that's a very important point to remember. I haven't been doing that the whole week, so I think that's a change that I want to immediately implement for this week. Immediately, yeah.
That's good.
Thanks for the
And
reminder.
then from a protein standpoint, we don't need a ton of protein every day. So, you know, this season's more about getting abundance of vegetables. Yes, there would be meat as well. Just remember, you can go to the extreme where you have too much meat, and your body turns that protein into sugar through a process called gluconeogenesis. So, you know, that's one of the things we don't have to worry about, is ever going short on sugar, because our body is always going to have the ability to produce it. And sometimes it'll use the protein that we're eating and convert that over to sugar. So it's a longer process. So it takes 8 to 12 hours for it to occur, and it usually doesn't have any problems with spiking your insulin, or to that point where it's too much and changes your blood sugar. Your body is just going to produce it at an amount that is needed.
See.
Did you have what's that?
No, I was thinking like this is different from how I did keto previously, which I think is an interesting point of view, because in most kind of diets they will ask you to increase the protein intake and fat intake, right, to get into ketosis. But so I see a lot of people like loading up on protein to build muscles, things like that. So, but I'm really having more vegetables. I think there's a more like I feel there's a healthier way. This is a healthier way to do it, and that there is. I prefer loading on vegetables than meat, actually, because it has so many other benefits, like better toilet, you know, better bowel movements and everything. So.
Yep. You're right on. I was just going to say that I feel that this is a healthier version of keto as well. You know, like things on social media regards to ketogenic diets, and there's recipes that are just like loaded with cheese and dairy and all this additional fat, and you know, our liver gets clogged with fat, and we get to a point where there's too much fat. So this just seemed more natural to me, where if we were in like a springtime condition, we would have plenty of, you know, vegetables and an abundant amount of greens to eat, and there's not a lot of sugar in them, so it naturally puts us into this ketogenic state. So it seemed like the right thing to do, right? The healthier version. Well, you're right in cravings that will probably go away. If you do feel like you have any sugar cravings, probably related to potassium and getting enough potassium. So at that point, I would just encourage you to have like avocados, very high in potassium. So some additional leafy greens to satisfy any of those cravings that come up.
Okay. I do have some cravings, but I managed to just get over it through some mental talk and that kind of stuff. But I add more avocados if I'll load up on those kind of things in at home so I can have ripe avocados as and when I need. I think avocados are really annoying because sometimes they don't get ripe and when I need it. I always have some ripe ones in the fridge. It will come in
There you
handy.
go.
Yeah.
They do. And I don't know if you have it available over there, but I've actually found some like organic guacamole come in like little cup that says the only ingredient is like salt and maybe garlic. But having those available that are sealed up and you don't have to wait for the avocado to ripen, but they're good for a snack. If you wanted to dip some vegetables in it, like celery or peppers or something like that, it's just good to grab and be able to snack on.
I see. All right. I'm not sure if I can find those, but if I can't, I can easily make one at home, right?
Yep. And
Okay.
speaking of making guacamole,
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you've ever done guacamole, and if you leave guacamole out for so long, it starts to turn brown. And what you can do is put it like in a Ziploc bag and squeeze it so all the air is out of it, and put it in the freezer if you need to. You could have little baggies of guacamole, and when you thaw it out, you just cut the corner of the bag off, and you can pipe it out and squeeze it onto your salads or whatever you want to enjoy with the guacamole.
Ah, okay. I think that's a good tip. The oxidization made it brown or something like that, right? Okay.
Well, you're probably almost to work, aren't you?
Yeah, almost. I'm rushing. It's gonna rain, so I have to make sure I'm in the office before it starts raining.
Any questions about ketosis or things that you're eating?
Sorry, come again?
Do you have any other questions about springtime and eating or ketosis?
Mm, no, I think so far I'm alright, except for the exercises and adding the variation and avocado.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are good reminders. Um, I'm no other problems except for tomorrow, which is probably I need to figure out what I can do, to be more to withstand the social pressure.
Yeah, do it.
Okay. Uh, Thanks for the vote of confidence. I'm almost at office already.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, I forgot to mention muscle cramps. If you do have anything from a muscle cramp standpoint, we can talk about magnesium and you help
No,
out.
I have no muscle cramps. So far, no.
Good. Okay. Enjoy.
All right. Have a great weekend too, Ryan.
Yep, you too. Thanks for joining.
Yep. My pleasure. Thank you.
Bye for
Bye
now.
bye. Bye.